Hey, what's up you guys? So today, as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be showing you how I set spots and crystals into leather. Sorry about my workbench, it's kind of a mess right now. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys first how to do crystals into leather, and then I'll show you how to do spots. So if you want to skip to this time, then that's going to be where I show you how to do spots if you just want to see how to do that. So anyway, for the crystals, what you're gonna need are your crystal rims. These ones are 20SS for the 20SS crystals, and they're an extra long leg just because I like to have a little bit more leg. And then these are the 40SS rims. And these don't have an extra long leg, which is fine. It'll work just the same. And then what I do for these sizes, for the 20SS, I use one of these 1/4 inch, like, I don't even know what they're called. I think it's a spot setter, but it works really great for, the 20SS size rims. And I got this from Tandy Leather. I think Springfield Leather also has them. I'll link it down in the description below where you can find these ones with like the slider thing on them. And then for the 40SS, I use a 10mm domed setter. I got this one on Tandy Leather. I'll leave a link down in the description to where that is too. And then also with the rim sets, and then I have my crystals here. I get those from Dreamtime Creations. I'll leave a link to their website down in the description below too, so you guys can check that out. And then what I do is I just use a thin piece of leather, because I only really set crystals into what would be an inlay or an overlay, so it would be like, you know, a decorative piece. So I really only do it into like 1 to 2 ounce leather, just to make it a little bit easier. And once again, I do set it into a softer wood, so it just punches right through into the wood, and the legs don't like all fold over really inconveniently. And then I also use gem tack to glue down the crystal, and then I set the rim over it. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys how to do it. We'll start with the 40SS, so let me just get that here. Okay, so with my gem tack, I'm just gonna glue down just a little drop of the glue, maybe if it'll come out. Just a little tiny dot of glue. And then I also use just like an old tweezers if I really need to, but with these big ones, like, I don't even think it's gonna grab it anyway. Oh, maybe it will, okay. With these big ones, I usually don't, but you can just use like an old tweezers to kind of just grab it. And then, let me get you guys a little bit closer here, so you can maybe see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so yeah, then you just, I just kind of press it in there just to make sure it's nice and tacky, it's not really sliding around too much. And then grab one of the 40SS rims. All right, so then once you have your rim here, you just set it over the crystal about where you want it, and then just take your domed setter, and I just set it right on top of the rim, and you can see just like that how this setter fits like perfectly on top of the rim, and it's domed, so it's not gonna hit the crystal when I pound this in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly tap, and just to make sure that it's going in evenly, because I might have to press on, you know, either side. Sometimes I'll just kind of like do like a circular motion when I'm tapping. And you shouldn't need to like slam these in there. They should just tap in pretty easily, because obviously the spikes are pretty sharp. So as you can see, it's still raised up just a little bit on this side. So I'm just gonna go back in and tap that down. And then it just pulls right out. And then what you do, or what I do, is I just take the back of my little dome setter thing here, and then just fold it over. And actually what I should do, I don't usually set the crystal down onto the wood just so it doesn't get scratched, and then you just fold over your little prongs here. I don't really know a good way of showing how to do this. And sometimes when you're doing this, it'll kind of come back out again, like you can see there. So then you just go back in and tap it back down and then continue folding it over. And what I do too is I'll put my finger, like as you saw I did there, in the middle, and then just, you know, push over the prong so it can just hold it down really nice. All right. So there's that. That's the back with all the prongs folded over. And then this is the front where the rim is over the crystal. So then I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do the 20SS with the little slider thing there. So let me get that started. Okay, so same thing with the 40SS. I just used a little dot of glue to just glue it down here. I'm trying to grab the crystal with my little tweezers here. And this is a 20SS crystal, so I'm just gonna set it down in there, and then I'll just kind of use the tip of my tweezers just to kind of push it in there to secure it a little bit. So there's that glued down on there. And then you just grab your teeny tiny little rim set here, and this is the extra long leg like I said before. So and what I do is I kind of push out the legs a little bit just to make it a little bit wider so it doesn't just fall out of that little slider thing. So I'm gonna push that out, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's in the slider here. Okay, so when you're putting it down in the slider, it should just slide down in there, and then hopefully I can show you guys what this looks like. So if my camera, I might have to back the camera up a little bit here. So you can see that the rim fits like perfectly in this 1/4 inch setter here. And then you just slide it in there, and then it should be, let me see if I can show you. It should be down in there. I don't think you can really even see it, but whatever. And when it falls out like that, you don't want that. That's why I was saying you have to kind of pry the legs open a little bit wider just to keep it in there. So I'm gonna fix that. So I just realized that my camera wasn't recording. So I totally just finished setting this, and I was like just talking to myself. So anyway, I'm going to continue showing you how to do this. So now that it is down in here, and it's like just, you can see the little ends just kind of poking out there. When I flip it over, it shouldn't fall out anymore. So then I just set it over the top. And the nice thing about this slider is you can see here that the rim is sitting over the top of the crystal, and this slider keeps it from wiggling outside of where you want it to be, so it should keep it going straight down when you're pounding it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start lightly tapping again. And there's that. Okay, so you can see that one of my legs is trying to bend out here, and on the other side there you can see it's like folding way over. Where is it? Right there. But that's fine. I can correct that just by pushing it back over and folding it in towards the middle here. So I'm just gonna do that. So same thing when you're folding over. I just use the end of my little setter here, and I'm just gonna push that one back over into the middle, and then I'll probably just end up re-tapping that side there. So just push all these down. And I try to hold my leather kind of like flat when I'm doing this too, because sometimes it'll create like little wrinkles when you're setting this back over. So I'm just gonna go back and re-tap this in just to make sure it's sitting a little bit better. So yeah, there you go. So that is how to set the 40SS and the 20SS crystals with rims into the leather. And And like I said, I'll leave all the links down in the description below to where I get the tools to do all this stuff. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do the spots now. Okay, so now to set spots into leather, what you're gonna need, or what I use, at least what I think works for best for me, is the 1/4 inch little like slider setter here, which, like I said, for the crystal one, I got these at Tandy. You can also get them at Springfield Leather. So I'll leave, you know, links down in the description for where to find that. And then this is the 3/8 slider setter thing here. So then we got our, wow, I can't pick it up. Our 3/8 inch spot, and then the little 1/4 inch one too. And these come in all different sizes and colors and all sorts of things. So then I'm just going to use the leather piece here that I used for the crystals. Now with these ones, because the legs are normally a little bit longer, you can do it in a little bit thicker leather. So I try not to go over like a 5 to 6 ounce piece with these, just because you want enough leg left over that you can bend it over to secure it in place. And personally, I don't use these to hold the leather piece onto another leather piece. I use them more as like a decorative thing, but so that's just kind of, you know, a preference. So what I do, especially with these 1/4 inch ones, they are super hard to set in. A lot of the times the legs will fold outwards or like break or bend really weird. So I kind of just decide where it is that I want it, and I use a 1/4 inch, it's supposed to be for stitching, a stitching hole puncher, and it's a 1/4 inch. So I can just kind of pre-tap in my holes. You can also get these at like literally any leather website ever made. So I'm just going to kind of decide where I want the 1/4 inch one and just tap a little hole, little preset hole in there. And I don't go all the way through. I just kind of just lightly tap just a little hole in there. And then I just put it into the little slider here and just make sure when I slide it back up, you can see it still has the prong sticking out. So I just kind of push it down in there so then it's nice and flat at the top there. And then since I already pre-punched my holes, let me see if I can just get you guys a little bit closer. So fun fact, I just literally broke the little stand thing for my camera when I was trying to move it closer. So now I have it propped up on something else, so we'll see if it's actually going to survive this process. But anyway, so what I do, since I already pre-punched the holes a little bit, I just kind of I just push the legs out a little bit just so I can kind of find where it is, and then just line the legs up in the holes there. I don't really know how I can show this, but so you go like that, and then once again I'm punching into a soft wood, so it just goes straight through, and then just lightly tap it in, and then that's in. So just pull it out of the wood here, preferably without ripping everything with it. There we go. And then same thing with the crystals. I just put it into a piece of rubber here, so when I fold over the ends, it doesn't get all scratched. And then I fold my little legs inward. Sometimes you have to hold the other side or put my finger against the other side so it doesn't like bend sideways or whatever. And then just do both sides. Maybe. Why are you not folding over? Oh my god, okay. There we go. I just wanted to like fold over really kind of weird, but and then I just go back over again with the little setter and just make sure it's set down nice and evenly. So that's the 1/4 inch spot there, and like I said, I use these as a decorative, so these prongs won't be touching a horse or anything like that. There'll be another, oh my god, exactly what I was talking about. So there'll be another piece of leather over you know, over all these. You won't even see these when I do leather personally. All right, now I'll show you how to do the 3/8 bigger spot here. Okay, so the 3/8 spot doesn't really need a hole already pre-punched, just because the legs are a little bit thicker and stronger. So you just put it down in your little slider here, and I just leave the ends just, you know, kind of flush. Poking it a little bit is just fine. And then just kind of find where I want it to go and lightly tap again. And there it is. And then just pull it back out from the wood, flip it over onto just a little soft piece of rubber, or you can use a scrap piece of leather or whatever you really have, and fold over the prongs here. All right, so the prongs are folded over, and that is the 3/8 set in. So there you go. All right, guys, so there you go. So that is how to set spots and crystals into leather, or at least how I do it. As always, if you guys know of a better way to do it, please leave a nice comment down below. Don't yell at me and tell me that I'm doing it completely wrong. This is just the way I do it, and this is the way that works for me, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Once again, I'll leave all of the links to the tools that I use down in the description below, so you can find that. And I don't think I mentioned where I get my spots, but normally any leather site should have them. If you literally just look up leather spots and then the color that you want, you're guaranteed to pretty much find whatever you're looking for. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions or anything you want me to show you how to do or anything, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.